What is up, guys? Welcome back to the video. This is going to be a first look and first impressions of the Rayvolt Ringo. So let's get started. Now, the Rayvolt Ringo has the aesthetic of a vintage style motorcycle, and it might not be for everyone, but it is for the type of people like myself that like to stand out and be a little bit different than everybody else's e-bike that's on the road, because a lot of these e-bikes these days are pretty much cookie cutter designs of each other. I mean, looking at this bike and the attention to detail with the stitching on the seat, moving on into the stitching on the gas tank is absolutely insane. I mean, they follow the same stitching into the grips that you see here. The attention to detail on this bike is absolutely insane. I've never seen anything like this on an electric bike so far. The stamped out logos on top of the fork, the gas tank, and even on the thumb throttle are a huge, huge plus, especially for somebody that just wants to have something that stands out a lot different than everybody else's bike out there. Now, the look of this bike will definitely get some people's heads turning, because they're going to think it's a motorcycle. They're going to ask you questions. They're going to want to talk about it. And I feel like being a part of this community, that's all I love to do, is talk about bikes, electric bikes, anything bicycle related. So this definitely fits my style of a bike right here. Now, after you sit on the seat that is elegantly stitched, as you see here, you're going to be looking into the cockpit. That cockpit area is so well maintained. I mean, look at the cables on how braided up they are. You can't even tell that there is a set of cables in there. This is the cleanest set of cables I've seen and attention to detail I've seen on a cable setup in a very, very long time. I mean, it is a very comfortable feel when it comes to holding onto these grips as well. The grips have that same etched in Rayvolt logo into them, and it is a nice feel because it is a leather grip, so as your hands sweat, they actually kind of absorb the sweat a little bit and gives you a little bit more grip than you normally would have on those textured hard rubber grips that I have on other electric bikes. And as you move on down the fork, you'll see that same attention to detail with the leather strapping that you would see where you would see some type of a suspension fork. And I know a lot of you guys will be wondering why there isn't a suspension fork on there. We're going to talk a little bit about that at the end of this video, and I'm going to tell you guys about the accessories that this bike will be coming with here in the near future. But moving on into the wheels, you have a 20-inch wheel, 4 inches wide, a nice beefy tire to help absorb all that impact since you don't have a front suspension on this bike. These brakes lock up so good. This is a set of Tektro brakes with mineral oil, so it has a nice fluid feel when you're pulling in that brake lever. So it doesn't really feel like there's any griminess in there. It is very nice, super smooth, and stops on the dime. Now, this is a Class 2 pedal assist bike, which also has back pedal regenerative braking, which I'm going to talk about a little bit more once we get to the hub motor. But first, let me show you this throttle setup. It is insane. Looks so good, so clean, has a really good feel about it too. Now as you look at the throttle, it has that same etched in logo. Really, really elegant. I mean, the attention to detail on this bike, like I said earlier, is absolutely insane. It has a really good thumb throttle feel as well versus a twist throttle. A lot of these e-bikes today come with a twist throttle, and I feel like you have a little bit more control of the torque and the power output with a thumb throttle versus a twist. Now the Ringo I'm riding right now is a 36 volt battery. It has a top speed of about 28 miles per hour. You can actually upgrade this to a 46 volt battery, which you'll be doing in the next 4 weeks or so, which will have a top speed of over 30 miles per hour. Now speaking of the battery, like I was showing earlier, you can actually insert it right here underneath the gas tank, and what it does is it clicks in place perfectly. You can actually take it out and charge it as well, just in case you can't take the bike inside your apartment or inside your home. But this bike is extremely light compared to my other electric bikes. Now the max output on this bike is about 2,000 watts. Now this is a 350 watt motor, but that's not to say that this thing can't put out some power, that's for sure. So this thing has put out a good amount of power so far. I have an app that I've been using to be able to kind of keep track of this. Speaking of an app and why you don't see a display on the bike, there is a reason behind that. Now supposedly there's been a lot of studies out there where a lot of people haven't really been using the displays that bikes, provide you, and a lot of people have been using their own displays, such as their cell phones, to kind of, keep track of their speeds, their battery usage, and all that. There's tons of different apps out there for you guys to do that with. They actually use their own app as well, which I'll list in the description below, just in case you guys want to download it, check it out, kind of see what you would be getting into before you get the bike. But that is the reason why they don't run it on this. Now Rayvolt offers a ton of different accessories for the other bikes, and it's not going to be any different here with the Ringo. They offer fenders, suspension fork, headlight, taillight that works with the brakes, and a matching saddlebag setup that will match this vegan leather on the gas tank as well as the seat. Oh my gosh, a ton of different options. Oh man, I forgot to mention the suspension fork. Lots of different customizable features here with the Rayvolt Ringo. Now as we work our way from the 350 watt hub motor, you'll see that there's a Shimano setup. This is a standard Shimano setup you see on a lot of different electric bikes. Pretty standard, nice, free and clear, and it makes for a really, really clean look for this bike. As you see, this thing is really minimalistic as you get to the bottom bracket. It's just a crank and a hub setup. Now another thing I want to talk about is the quality of craftsmanship. I stare at this type of stuff because I come from a BMX background. You really got to pay attention to the quality of your craftsmanship, and I look at that on all bikes, and this bike, it is insane how good these welds are all the way through and through this frame. Not to mention the internal cable guides going in, so this thing is as minimalistic as it can look. I want to give a special shout out and thank you to Rayvolt for sending me this Ringo for an early review and sneak peek for you guys to check out. Also, if you're interested in any Rayvolt products, check them out, link in the description below. If you guys have any suggestions for other e-bike brands you want to see on the channel, or if you want to see another Rayvolt product on my channel, put the comment below. Also, I want some of the accessories, so I might hit them up to see if maybe we could possibly do a build series with this bike on my channel. So if you have any suggestions for different things you want to see on this bike, put them in the comments below. I also do like BMX and mountain bike related stuff, so if you guys are new around here, consider subscribing. I do a wide variety of different bicycle stuff. So with that being said, if you guys like this video, drop a like. If you love it, hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next one.